video on Jesse's stance about illegal downloading file sharing. Elena is going to go ahead and give us the opposing side of why it should stay illegal.
Alright, so I, like many others, which I'm sure include most of the people in this room, have engaged in file sharing at some point in their life to avoid putting forth some money on a CD or DVD you aren't sure is worth it. But was it the right choice? Well, the RIAA doesn't think so, and they have been at the forefront of the anti-file sharing campaign, trying to stop illegal downloading in its tracks by going after not only large operations, but individual people as well. The file sharing craze brought about by Napster in 1999 couldn't go unnoticed, and even though it started out on a small scale, it soon grew and grabbed the attention of the RIAA. They would quickly bring a lawsuit against Napster, which they would win to shut down this giant. Even with the closure of Napster, things couldn't be stopped, and many others popped up to take Napster's place, such as Kazaa, BearShare, and Pirate Bay. Over the years, it was obviously apparent how this was affecting sales in the industries. CD sales, which were at a high in 2000 with 942.5 million units sold, dropped to 766.9 million in 2004, and then slid to 362.6 million in 2008. The MPAA also estimates that at its height, they lost 6.1 billion over illegally copied materials in 2005 alone. So the need for legal media downloads was obvious, and in 2001, iTunes opened and was quickly followed by others like AOL, Microsoft, and Walmart. Single songs and CDs on iTunes were only available at first for the economical price of 99 cents per song, or $9.99 per CD, and movies, TV shows, and books, among other things, would follow a little later. Record labels would quickly realize how profitable this was becoming, and although they were already receiving 70 cents for each song that was downloaded, they wanted to up the price of popular songs to $1.49, while the less popular songs could stay at 99 cents. iTunes fought against it, claiming that a move to a higher price would only encourage consumers to illegally download, and so the price has stayed as it did when it first started till this day. Nowadays, there is definitely no shortage of places to buy legal media or even get it for free, like Netflix, iTunes, Amazon, or Hulu. So I encourage everyone who may still be using an illegal method to receive their media to try out a legal method just once. Often we don't think about what all of this file sharing is doing to the industries that brought us our favorite band, movie, or TV show. You heard some statistics I gave on the fall of CD and movie sales, but sales aren't the only things that suffer. For example, the Times in London released an article at the beginning of this year explaining how new artists were having a harder time getting signed to record labels because debut album sales have fallen 77% since 2003 and contributed only 11 million to top 50 music chart revenue compared with 48 million 8 years ago, making them a bigger risk to invest in for labels. This is why I believe it's not only important to support the bands you enjoy now, or movies, TV shows, etc., because we may miss out on something that could have been potentially amazing in the future. And so now we're going to show a small commercial against illegal downloading.
Okay, now that you've heard both sides of the file sharing and illegal downloading debate, I'm going to go ahead and give you just a little bit more information as well as some facts that we discovered while finding out some of this information. Now, the analogy that illegal downloading is just like grabbing a CD or a DVD off the shelf at the store has oftentimes been used. The people who are on the against side of illegal downloading and file sharing are adamantly certain that that is the right analogy, and I think personally that it's not the right analogy to use simply because illegal downloaders oftentimes just go for one song or one movie or one show. It's not like actually grabbing a whole handful of DVDs or CDs off of the shelf. Others say that it stifles the career of new up-and-coming bands. However, I think these bands sent the wrong message when they would make their music available at first for free, whether it would be one song, two songs, or the whole album of their EPs. They made it available for free, and then post-record deal, the record companies kind of then limited what they could put out there for free. Some laws addressing file sharing and illegal downloading are the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which was signed in 1998, and then an extended version of that was the Online Copyright Infringement Liability Act, which was also signed in 1998. Now, some information on peer-to-peer sharing and the dangers that come with it are the fact that usually sharing is on your laptops at home or PCs at home within whoever is on your internet network. However, if you or if anybody in your household registers your computer to an illegal file sharing software program, it kind of opens up your computer to any of the files that you may have. You can be liable for what you're purchasing off of that software program, as well as liable for what is distributed from your computer if anybody is trying to access that. Some of the risks you're taking are letting people have your banking information and routing numbers, your social security numbers, passwords to any and all of your email accounts and any other accounts you have on your computer, as well as any other personal information you might have saved on your hard drive. So that's another thing to think about when considering getting your music illegally. Is that one song really worth somebody having your identity? Others think that the RIAA should rethink their punishment to fit the crimes. Their punishment should be more fair, where somebody who is prosecuted for drug dealing or murder, they have a set punishment, whereas the people who are being prosecuted for illegally downloading or file sharing, it's kind of up to the RIAA how they want to go about prosecuting this person. They also should, or people also think that their punishment should be consistent. One student was charged $675,000 for 30 songs, whereas another student was charged $1 million for 7 songs. So the arbitrariness of the RIAA to go ahead and pick the value per song, per case, is kind of, I think it's not fair. Most cases that were found, which is like a dime a dozen, because only certain cases, there's very few, like a handful of cases actually kind of challenge the RIAA for their unfairness, and the rest of the cases were kind of settled with a settlement. So is it fair that the RIAA can just settle a case like that, or I guess kind of punish harshly people who actually try to appeal their cases? So that's some more information and facts. We're going to go ahead and give you our conclusions on our personal stances and opinions, and then we'll go ahead and get yours. Jesse?
Okay, so first I'm going to date myself. I was a freshman when Napster first came onto the scene, so that was back in 1999. Along with every user, I thought it was phenomenal. I took advantage of it. I downloaded songs every day, downloaded albums, made my own CDs. I continued to use it until the whole Metallica debacle came about. Shortly after I started hearing about lawsuits coming to those who continue to use the illegal file sharing on a regular basis. At this point, I considered the consequences a little bit more intently to decide, was it worth it to have the latest single, or, risk the possibility of having to pay additional fines. I actually just settled on focusing on iTunes. I use iTunes pretty much on a regular basis now. The closest I get to file sharing at this particular point is me borrowing the latest CD from a friend of mine, listening to it, determining if I like it or not. If I do, chances are I'm either going to buy a song on iTunes or buy the physical album itself. I actually do agree with Michael Moore where, I think it's okay to file share as long as you're not making money off of it.
Awesome. I too am a victim of, not a victim, I'm guilty of file sharing and illegal downloading as well. There are very few albums, music-wise, that I've come across in my life that I actually like the whole album. I'm more of a like 1 or 2 song type of girl. So since my generation is more mobile, I kind of use Pandora a lot. I have a couple of accounts on Pandora, but they have an app for the smartphones, and when I'm at home I just listen to it on my laptop. I really think that people should deeply consider all of the punishments and all of the things that you're risking making your computer available using these programs and softwares that you download. Some of the cases that we came across were parents getting prosecuted because they didn't even know that their children were doing this in the household. So you're still liable whether you know about it or not. I think people should just stay safe and borrow music or register on Pandora and programs that do make it legal and still easy and convenient to view things such as movies, TV, shows and get your music as well.
So after going through this project and all of the information, I feel as though I've had not only a better understanding of what the RIAA was trying to accomplish, but also the harmful effects it was putting on the industries and artists in them. You know, we not only have to look at what is happening presently, but also what could potentially happen in the future. Not only have we reduced CD and movie sales to a huge percentage over the last 10 years, but we've also stifled new artists trying to get into the industry because statistically they pose a risk. So this is why I'm going to back away from my usual file sharing ways and try to take a more legal approach so that it may improve the future of someone trying to get heard later on.
Okay, awesome. And then now we're going to turn the camera on you guys and get your opinions. So what do you guys think after hearing all of this information about illegal downloading and file sharing?
Well, if you have it on your computer, does that mean do they know even if you're not sharing it?
Okay.
Or does it automatically share? So
The only way that the RIAA, like I said in the fact or fake, the only way that they can monitor whether you're really illegally downloading is if your computer is registered to a software program such as Kazaa or LimeWire or BearShare. They register it and they filter it, like I mentioned, through an IP address system. And any IP addresses, obviously you have to put in an email, you have to have an internet connection to have these programs and softwares on your laptop. So
everybody's done that at one time.
everybody's done it at one time, but that filtering program method that the IRAA uses is how they actually catch people. It's kind of like
Those
a red.
are the ones that are really sharing.
Yes, it's like a red flag system. Whoever's doing it consistently and consecutively, like every day,
They
file
actually
sharing.
can tell if you're just downloading it for yourself.
No. They can't tell if you're downloading something. They're gonna assume that you're either doing it for profit, but it's got to be like a vast majority.
Okay.
And like I said, I don't know if it was mentioned, but the RIAA kind of sends fair warning before they go ahead and take action to either prosecute you or shut off your internet. They'll go ahead and honestly, they send maybe 20 to 30 letters to your home, contact you a few times. And they really try to reason with you, which is why there are so very few cases to begin with.
Oh, yeah, the punishment's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like I said, you're going to give a murderer 2 years for killing somebody, and then you're not going to.
Exactly. Like I said.
$1 million for doing that.
And you know what? Even the lady that was prosecuted for her children being in the news and everything, she didn't even know what was going on, and they still charged her $1 million. So.
Is she ever really going to have to pay that, though? Did you really?
She's going to appeal again.
No, I mean, she appealed it, but they didn't.
She appealed it once. Well, they let her try to settle. And then she appealed it once, and then they charged her the $1 million, and then she's going to try and appeal it again. There's more details to that case. I think her name is Jamie Smith, if you guys want to go ahead and Google and just find out a little bit more information about that. But other than that, is there anything else? Go ahead.
Like LimeWire and all that, you know, how, I guess, you can pay for it at LimeWire. Is it still illegal downloading?
It is considered an illegal download because you're paying. What they're saying is you have to pay for a certain amount of storage to be downloaded because you know it's stored on your computer up to a certain point. Everybody's done it. Everybody's done it. Even if you're unaware of you're doing it, you've still done it at one point.
At this point, I think we're all illegal, right?
Well, no, I was going to say, mostly everybody, I think, goes to YouTube now to listen to a song, don't they, when they're kind of looking for a song.
Well,
So
There's different views on everything, but for the most part, that's everything on illegal downloading.
I kind of agreed with Michael Moore to a point.
Well, thank you all for coming out tonight, and thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.